Hello, everybody. It's Casual Convo Friday, and today I'm flying solo. I'm going with just myself, and I've got Mr. Mike Leeds here. He's coming on board today, and we're going to talk about some sales stuff. We're going to make fun of some salespeople and what they do, and we're going to talk about some stuff that we've done before, and we're all just going to have a good time. Tisha today is a little she had another engagement come up. She had to go take care of, so it's just us. Sorry for that, guys. I know y'all much rather hear her talk because she's a lot better at it than I am. But we'll make it work, right, Mike?
Yeah, we definitely will miss her, but maybe we can even figure out a couple of cheap shots and have some fun with her.
Absolutely. There's nothing like making fun of people when they're not around, right?
That's right. That's
All
right.
right. All right. So, Mike, you got your company Pro Sales Coaching, and you've named yourself the head coach, right? Like because
Right.
that's what you're doing. And so, just talk to us, just to give us a few little sentences here about what it is you actually do with salespeople.
Well, one of the reasons I started my company was really to help salespeople in the field and in the trenches. So I work with rookies through veterans. I've got a client that's about 20 years older than me, and I got the millennial generation of clients. And what I do is I help them with their strategy as far as like a sales process and building a repetitive process that's successful for them, as well as the tactics of sales. So getting down and saying, all right, how do we data gather? What are the right ways to get information so that we can learn how we can help our clients in providing good products and services and give them the total value. So my world's a black and white world, Nate. We're either selling or we're not, and there's a scoreboard at the end. So I love what I do. Been doing it for about 19 years now after the corporate world.
I got you. Okay, perfect, perfect. I think a lot of people can really, use help in general when it comes to sales, and that's one of those things that if you're not constantly sharpening the tools in your tool shed, you'll fall behind real quick when it comes to
Oh,
sales. You know,
absolutely. And sales doesn't change like technology does in your world, where there's dramatic changes in technology. Some of the tools we use to manage customers and databases, that's the technology piece. But the
hmm
actual principles of sales are pretty much the same as when Dale Carnegie wrote his book in the 50s, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So it's solving problems and fulfilling needs. It's the tactics have changed a little bit, but the overall game of sales, I think, is pretty much the same.
oh yeah, absolutely.
But you got to always work on sharpening skills. And I learn from my clients, I think, as much as they learn from me. So it's a lot of fun. I get up in the morning. I love what I do.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's good. That's what everybody should want to do. So I'm going to start you off with a question here.
Okay.
And it may be going deep into the conversation, but I want to start with this question because I've always had a strong opinion on this particular topic here. You've discussed the difference between push and pull selling, right? Can you please just lay that out for people what that is, and then I would love for us just to do a little back and forth about it.
Sure. At least my definition of it is push sales. And, I hate to pick on them, but it's prototypical salespeople that we think about. And a lot of people get very stressed out about going into that situation is buying a car.
Yeah.
Okay. And unfortunately, the car industry still utilizes a lot of what I call push sales. And push means you feel like they're selling you. Okay. What I mean by pull is helping you make a buying decision.
hmm
So if somebody sits down with you, and it could happen in the car dealership as well, and asks you a lot of good questions and then makes a recommendation based on a conversation that you had and helps you pick out a vehicle that you feel good about, that's what I would call pull sales. Okay, helping me make an informed buying decision that I'm not going to regret later, and I'm not going to pull my hair out over it, because you can see there's not much to pull out at this point. uh, so push, though, is kind of like you walk into the dealer and you happen to look at a car, let's say a Corvette or something like that, and I can have you in that car today, and they're pushing you to buy that car. And maybe you came in looking for an SUV and they don't really care about that. They've got a spiff on Corvettes this month and they want to push, you into it. And I don't mean to pick on Chevrolet as a car company. It's just, bright, shiny Corvettes catch my attention.
Yeah.
So that's really what I consider the difference between push and pull. And a pull is you're extracting information from the customer to find out what they really need and how you can help them make a buying decision that meets what they're looking for.
Okay. All right. I agree with that 100%. So when it comes to either push or pull, do you have a preference? Do you feel like there's a right way to go about it? Or do you feel like there needs to be both in a salesperson's repertoire? Or how do you feel about it?
No, I mean, no, I think it's got to be a consultative approach, which is going to be pull. So pull or extracting information from the customer, but you have to do it in such a way that it doesn't come across as an interrogation. That you've got to be asking questions that are good questions that are going to get down to what the heart of the issue is. What's the customer really trying to achieve? And then how can you help them? So I would say the only time push even enters the conversation might be in closing, where you might use a direct approach, which is, can we go ahead and get started with this order? And that would be as close to push as I would get. I don't utilize push as a strategy. It just may be a technique for a direct close for somebody that's on the fence. But really, my favorite type of close is the customer. It's like a self-close, and then say, hey, how do I get started with this?
Yeah.
That's really my favorite. So no, I don't really care for the push sales technique at all.
Gotcha. 100%. So I'm in agreement with you. I gotta tell you, I'm more of a pull guy. I mean, that's it. I know some people do the push method and they get results and everything, but I'm definitely a pull guy. And I gotta tell you, most of our clients that have dealt with me in terms of sales, they enjoy that experience a lot more. Because they're like, I never felt like I was being sold to. I felt like I was telling somebody my problems, and then they were offering up a solution.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that maybe if it's a 1-month sales contest, it's possible that a push salesperson might win that contest, but a pull salesperson is going to win the long game. And like your clients, Nate, you want to help them on an ongoing basis. You don't want just one sale. You basically want to create a customer for life. So you help them make a great decision. Then when the next technology platform rolls out, you're the go-to for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's always been the plan. And I think a lot of salespeople, they kind of fall short on that. And maybe it's just because, I'm one of the business owners. And so I'm a little bit more into it than a salesperson that's just hired to do a job. Right. But
right.
I feel like a lot of salespeople, even though it's not their company, they fall short because they don't realize that long-term value that somebody can bring. You know what I mean? Like they push, they get the sell, and then they think that's it. But the reality of it is, they could get way more out of every single customer they work with.
Well, here in Metro Phoenix, there was a statistic that came out a while ago from like the Realtors Association, and I think also the state kind of validated it, that the average person here moves about every 6 years. They move into another house. Okay, so with that in mind, if you're a great real estate agent, how many houses are you going to get from that person? Not just one. You're going to be their realtor, their go-to realtor. And then, of course, you're going to recommend them to your friends and your relatives. So, that's why if you really do a good job at helping your customer, solving their problems, it'll be an ongoing thing, and you're not going to get beat up 2 years down the road because you're 5% more expensive, because you've really delivered on it. You've shown your value. So I think that's important. That's very important.
Oh yeah, 100%. So real quick, I just want to acknowledge a couple of people here. We've got Dean Goodman and Luis Melendez joining us. Dean, say again.
Dean?
Yeah.
All right.
Dean.
Dean, if it's the Dean I know from high school, long time, buddy.
And then Luis Melendez says, "Good morning, Nate and Mike from Groovy Los Angeles." He's enjoying this topic. Give you some background about Luis. Luis is getting ready to make a transition into entrepreneurship. He's getting ready to retire from his current profession and move into entrepreneurship. And so he's been joining us for a lot of our topics. So he's been eating it up.
Well, welcome, Luis.
All right. So our next question here is, we've got some. What are some challenges or mistakes that you see a lot of salespeople make? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about.
All right. Well, my biggest one that and this goes into the topic of messing with salespeople, is asking closed-ended questions. And when people come out and they'll just say, like, if you walk in, like, if I really am in a feisty mood or something like that, or want to have fun with somebody, and I walk into a retail store, and they say, "Can I help you?" I'll just say yes, and then I'll just stare at them.
Yeah.
Okay. Because really, they should be asking, "How can I help you?" or "What brought you in today?" and "Where can I so they're asking a question that basically has no value whatsoever. And then part of that, though, there's one open-ended question that I like to have a lot of fun with, which is when salespeople say, "How are you today?" And they really don't mean it. They just are saying it. I mean, you can tell, excuse me, you can tell when you get a call from somebody and they start off with, "How are you today?" And I don't know who you are. And frankly, they probably don't care how I am today. They're just using it as an icebreaker. So depending on the mood I'm in, I may, I can kill the call by saying busy, and then the call just dies right there. Or I can tell them that I'm having a bad day, that I just had to put my cat down or something like that. And then that kills the conversation as well. And this all started from grocery stores, because I know the grocery store cashiers will always say, "How are you today?" And they're not paying attention. So I used to give them like bad, not well, or whatever. And they'd say, "Oh, that's great." Really? You didn't even hear what I said. So the other thing I can do is I can give a really long-winded answer on how I'm doing today. Yeah. I'm having a great day. Let me tell you how my day started. And then I'll go into a bunch of minutia that they don't want to hear. So, I think that the flip side of that is if you want to be nice, if you know somebody, I think it's totally fine to ask how they are today.
Sure.
If you don't know somebody, I might start off with, "I hope you're having a good day," and then tell them why you called.
I got you.
I'm calling you today to see how I can help you with this. Just get to the point. I think people on the phone today, we're in a text world, we're in a Twitter world. Get to the point fast. Okay, it's kind of like if you're reading an article. The goal of the headline is to get you to read the first paragraph, and then the goal of the first paragraph is to get you to read the rest of the article. So,
that's an excellent point right there. As Tisha would put it, that'd be one of our golden nuggets of wisdom to drop from somebody.
Oh, well, it's too bad she missed it.
I know it.
She'll catch it on the replay.
Yeah, she'll have to catch it on the replay.
Okay.
No, I'm with you on the closed-ended questions. It really just closes you off. It kills the momentum that you've got. It destroys the conversation, really, to be honest with you. Especially, like you said, if you want to have a little fun with them.
Yeah. Well, we're busy. So, fun sometimes, like I said, I get a lot of my material for some of my keynote talks from just people on the street. I'll see an erratic driver on the freeway, and he's got a "How Am I Driving" sign on his truck, but there's company names all over it. And that'll give me a blog or a speech topic on, your name on the side of the truck is great for advertising unless you drive like an idiot. And then then I'm going to think, when I think of that company, I'm going to think idiot. So I don't know. I have fun with that stuff. I don't know if everyone would be, but if you do what I do for a living, you've got to look at the humor of it all too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you messing with people, it reminds me of my cousin. My cousin's a big sales guy. Been in sales ever since he got in the army. And he he went on a rant the other day about people just like you've had the email messages in LinkedIn. It's just straight to the point. There's no even trying to make a connection. It's just bam, bam, bam. And he is big on like contacting those people's supervisors at their companies and just laying it out like, hey, your person's not doing their job. Just FYI. Like
wow, I haven't taken it to that step yet.
Yeah,
you gave me a golden nugget.
Yeah, there you go.
That could actually kind of back my way into a client.
Yeah. It sounds bad, but like he means it with, I mean, a lot of it is he gets annoyed, but like he means it with like look, I'm going to help you I'm trying to help you get better here. What you're doing right now is not working. Like it's never going to work. And if it does work, it's not going to be a great client. So, sure. he just wants to put it on the radar. But yeah, he's done that before. It gives me a little bit of a chuckle every time I see him do it.
No, I'll have that conversation with the actual person, but I've never thought about elevating that one. That's a good one. One of my other ones that I like is I have fun with people that ask stupid questions. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, let's say you go into somebody's office and there's a picture of the family. One of my fun questions I like to have a good time with is, are those your kids? Well, one of my answers when I had salespeople calling on me in my office in the corporate world was, no, that's the picture that came with the frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course they're my kids. Why are they there? Or you see somebody in a little league uniform. Oh, does your son play baseball? No. He's into soccer. Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe if you want to have good conversation, take it to the next step. Ask the person, what position does your son play?
Sure.
Or how long has he been playing? Or something like that. Or how recent is that picture of your family? Or something like that. Or, maybe a positive comment, great looking family or something like that. But, or you walk into somebody's office and they've got, the big Notre Dame Fighting Irish, logo behind them on the wall. Would you ask them really? Oh, so do you like Notre Dame? No, it just came with the office.
I got you.
Yeah. So, skipping ahead, just say, who are the Irish playing this week? Or if you're not a football fan and you don't want to get caught up in a conversation, just maybe find something else to comment about in the office.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So stupid questions I can have fun with those, and they also kind of don't serve a purpose in a business conversation. Matter of fact, it's a credibility hit. So that's another one I have fun with them.
I also respect anybody that asks you a dumb question like that, and when you give them one of those answers, that they bounce back from it. They're like, yeah, that was a dumb question, or whatever. Like if they can salvage the situation from there, I like that.
I like that. I mean, I respect that too. If people own it and say, yeah, you know what, let me take that back, or can I go back in my DeLorean, 60 seconds in the past, and can we redo that?
Let me just hop out. Like they get up and walk out the door and come back in and just start over. Like
exactly. You know what? That just shows who you are, and you get people that have a good time with that, and then just say, okay, because we've all done it. We've all asked a stupid question.
Oh, so yeah, everybody does.
Oh, we do. It's just try to minimize them.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
And I like laugh it off. Yeah, that was a brilliant question.
Absolutely. So your friend Dean said, "Hello, old friend." We're just going to cover some comments here.
All right.
And Royce Blake on watching us on YouTube, lifetime customer value. He emphasized on that. And then we've got Luis Melendez here. He's giving us some comments about open their curiosity. This works for me. I asked the following: Is the way to that direction? And then he also said that that's him in terms of the stupid questions. But no, I mean, it happens. I mean, I've asked dumb questions. I've completely just lost my train of thought in the middle of talking sales stuff to people, and I'll just look at them and be like, you know what, let me just backpedal. And it's okay to do that, because everybody does it, and or sometimes I just ask I've literally been in a room with 30 people on a pitch. I got this meeting set up. I'm in a room with 30 people. I'm at the end of this long conference table, and I'm talking, and I asked a question. There's just there's nothing. It's just crickets. There's no feedback whatsoever. I'm falling flat on my face, and I'm just like, well, folks, I'll just go ahead and tell you that was the best I got. I just tried to turn into a stand-up comedian, and I got everybody to chuckle. And I was like, all right, let's backtrack this a little bit here. I was like, what can you tell me that you need here in the company, kind of thing? So I reeled it back in, and I ended up winning the deal. It worked out. Everybody respected the fact I could kind of think on my feet. My next question to you is, so we've got somebody out there that's new to sales, or they're a new entrepreneur that has no sales experience really and stuff like that, but they have an excellent product or service they want to get out there to the world. Mm-hmm. Me and you, we've been doing sales for a long time. We know how to attain a customer, build that relationship, build that rapport, send birthday cards, anniversary cards, whatever. All those little bits of information you build those dossiers and profiles on. We know how to do that, but a lot of people don't. Every time I've worked with anybody that's new in sales, they have no idea how to do that. Can you just talk to us a little bit about how important that is, and little tips and tricks that you use? I know I recently started bringing gifts to my sales meetings a lot of times. Things like that nature. Nothing big, just a little token of affection for, hey, I appreciate you allowing me the time to come see you today, kind of thing. So just talk us through that rapport building.
Well, rapport building is the key, Nate. You can't just turn on a dime and try to sell somebody. And my friend Dean knows this, and he's great at doing the rapport building. Mm-hmm. And people buy from people that they like and people that they trust. So it's a process. They got to like you first. They got to believe you're the expert, and you have to be passionate about your product or service. Because if you're just selling something you're not into, they'll get that. They'll hear that in what you say. They'll see it in your nonverbal communication. But if you truly believe what you do, build that rapport. Gifts and things like that, when you go see somebody, are great as icebreakers. The only caution I would have, Nate, is if people then start to expect it every time they see you. So, that'd be my only caution to you, kind of on that topic. But I think it's great. During COVID, I was scheduling a lot of Zoom calls and asking people if they could meet for a virtual coffee.
Sure.
And I was sending them a packet of coffee. If I could if I knew they had a Keurig, I'd send them a couple of K-cups. If they were tea drinkers, I would send them some tea. And it was funny because when we would get on camera, they would show me what I sent them. Mm-hmm. And, how much did that cost for me to do that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I was kind of making up for the fact that I couldn't see people at a local coffee shop. So, I think work on the rapport and then take it as, let's use football as an analogy. And you and I were talking before about the gunslinger quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. And those are the plays that make it on ESPN highlights or 60, whatever Chris Berman's show is, where he burns through all the plays of the day. And that's the beauty of watching the red zone. It's just all scores. But when you think about football, most of the plays they're not sexy. They're just 4-yard gain, 5-yard gain. But if you keep doing that and you keep moving the chains, eventually you'll run out of field and you'll score. So those are the kinds of things that you want to focus on. And then at the end of the sales call, when you're in your car driving back to your office, do I know more than I did before? So the tip for this new salesperson is be patient, create forward progress, further the conversation into another conversation, and what's the next logical step. So, and then don't be concerned that you came back to the office without a sale. If you got a lot of head nodding and a lot of positive energy from the meeting, then that's good. That's a win.
Oh, yeah.
So people that are new to sales think that they can reel in the big fish. You're going to, a broken watch is right twice a day. Okay. You're going to, sometimes you're going to trip on something. That's great, but don't bank on it. So, you want to make sure that you're creating excellent conversations and building the rapport, and then moving the chains. And that's one of the things I see with people that are new to sales. They say, they're very impatient. Now, if you're selling, a widget and it's a commodity and it's, like I'll talk the shortest sales process of any industry I've ever seen, or any business or organization, is Girl Scout cookies.
Sure.
Okay, you see the cookie, you buy the cookie.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't need a PowerPoint presentation on the nutrition.
Nope.
You don't need customer referrals. You just buy the cookie.
Exactly.
All right. So if you're not selling cookies, then there's no rapport building with the cookie.
No.
Okay. So but most of us aren't selling something like that. We're selling something that there's some sort of process.
No, most of us can't post up in front of the Walmart double doors and make a fortune there, small little fortune there for that day.
Absolutely. My favorite time of the year when those Girl Scout cookies come out.
Oh, man. When I was overseas, they used to drop pallets of Girl Scout cookies off to us. They were just everywhere.
Oh, wow. And you were in the desert too, weren't you? So you had to eat those things before they got hot and melted.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
All right,
we got a couple more comments here. Anders wanted to tell us like, trust, process, Good Friday advice, keep pumping, laughter matters. Absolutely, 100%. And then, Tisha decided to say hi, you guys. She's got time apparently to comment on her stuff. I'll pay for that one.
Yeah, you probably will. I'm going to take the fifth on that one.
No, she's fine. I know I've left her hanging sometimes. We both navigate owning our businesses as best as possible.
Well, we all do. And I missed out on an event of hers because of a customer crisis. They were about to lose one of their biggest accounts. And we had to have a kind of a strategy session to go into recovery mode. Good news is we're still alive.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, it happens.
Good deal. All right, Mike. Well, we're running a little bit low on time. We've had a good conversation. I think it's been great, and I appreciate you coming on. But we've got a shameless plug that we always allow everybody to do, to kind of just talk about what they have going on, if there's an event coming up, if they're doing something new, or just how to contact you, that type of stuff. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, let you do that little shameless plug, and then I'll close it out.
Well, if you're looking to increase your sales results, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Let me see how I could potentially assist you. And you can contact me through my website, which is prosalescoaching.com. And I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm also on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Sales Leeds, and that's Leeds with 2 E's. And I'm in the process of writing a book called What Salespeople Can Learn from Life. So they're all like metaphorical stories, I guess you could say, turning real life situations into what we can learn from sales. So if anybody's got like a fun one or a topic, they think I should include, please contact me with it, and then I'll go from there. And then I'll provide them a shameless plug in the book that this came from so-and-so.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Nate. Any other questions I can answer for you?
No, but I got some stories for you. You can put in your book if you'd like.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'll take what you got.
Yeah, absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely. Well, everybody, we'll be back next week. Tisha's just a little bit disposed today. She has some work stuff come up, but we should both be back next week. Mike, we appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope all of y'all have a great, wonderful weekend, and good
All right.
luck to you all in your sales endeavors.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. See ya.